Welcome to section 2, where we're going to learn all about IT service management. That way we can start to understand these concepts before we get into ITIL. In this video, we're going to set the foundation for the rest of this course by understanding what IT service management, or ITSM, really is. Let's first define IT service management. IT service management is a structured approach of designing, delivering, managing, and improving the way IT services are provided to users and customers. Users and customers can be either internal or external to the organization that's offering those services. The goal here with ITSM is to ensure that these services support business needs as well as deliver consistent value. We'll be talking about value all throughout this course, but for now, just understand ITSM is there to support organizational value through technology support. And really, you can think of ITSM as the practice of managing IT operations. IT service management can sometimes be confused with project management. The main difference between project and service management is that project management is more about creating something such as a product, a service, or an end result within a defined scope, budget, as well as schedule or timeline. Projects have a definite starting and ending point, and they aim to provide value to stakeholders, users, or customers. Service management, on the other hand, generally picks up where project management ends. Once a product or service is delivered or created through a project, that product or service will likely still need to be maintained, supported, as well as improved over time. That's where service management comes in. Sometimes we can refer to service management as operations as well, and this is very common when projects hand off their deliverables to some sort of operations. Service management falls under operations as well. For example, let's say your company decides to implement a new internal HR program. The project team is responsible for gathering requirements, selecting a vendor, setting up the HR system itself and configuring it, migrating any necessary data, and training employees to ensure that they know how to use the system. And that would be the project management side of this HR platform. But once the platform is live, operations needs to be permanently put into place to handle things like password resets, apply various updates, and onboard new employees. The day-to-day tasks after project management ends, well, that usually falls under operations, or in our case, IT service management. IT service management helps us keep our services running smoothly and ensuring that things still get support after a project ends. Let's talk about value a little bit, because value is one of the most important as well as most misunderstood parts of IT service management. When we discuss value in the context of IT service management, we're not talking about the actual budgetary or monetary cost of something. We're really referring to the perceived benefits, usefulness, as well as importance of a service that's being provided from the perspective of the person or people who actually use the service. What's important to note here, though, is that value looks differently depending on the person. If a customer has a very common, well-understood need, well, it's very easy for them to understand what they find valuable. But if a customer's need is more complex or more unique, the value might take more collaboration to clarify and to actually provide the customer with. Additionally, not every stakeholder, customer, user, or person will perceive value the exact same. Value is often impacted by someone's beliefs, intentions, and personal incentives. That means even if you have something that's useful to one person, another person might not find it useful at all. So value is very subjective, and it depends person to person. Here's an example. Let's say we have a company that requires 10 terabytes of cloud storage, and they need a storage service that offers exactly that with uptime, easy access, and a good support system. They'll likely see this whole product as high value. 10 terabytes is quite a bit of storage, and it meets their needs in a very simple way. But if we take that same 10 terabyte storage offering and then present it to a part-time freelance graphic designer who only needs 200 gigabytes of space, suddenly the value, or perceived value, starts to drop. In this case, it's more than what the graphic designer needs, and it's probably too expensive for them. While the service between both parties hasn't changed, the actual perceived value from each customer's perspective absolutely has. That's why understanding context as well as stakeholder needs is incredibly important in IT service management. Value is never the same between people, and shaped by relevance, expectations, and an individual's goal or mindset. And with that, let's move on to our next major concept, which is collaboration, also known as value co-creation. The idea here with collaboration is that the provider of a service won't operate in a vacuum. To deliver real business value, they'll need to actively work with the customer or end user that they're supporting. An ongoing relationship between the two helps us tailor our services to growing needs rather than throwing out generic solutions and hoping that the end user or customer finds them useful. Overall, IT service management, or ITSM, ensures the ongoing delivery and improvement of services after they've been created. They're normally created through a project. It also focuses heavily on delivering value. And remember, value is defined not by us or people in IT operations, but the stakeholders, customers, as well as users who will be making use of our services. And lastly, value is best achieved through collaboration between IT service provider as well as their customer or end user. We have to make sure that we're not just working on our own and that we understand what the customer, client, or stakeholder really needs.